Hey there, garden friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm, and today is Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Today's the day that I get almost all of my cooking for the next day done, because lucky me, I have a husband who likes to make the turkey and the stuffing, and so I make everything else, and I do pretty much all of it the day before, with one or two exceptions. So I'm gonna show you what I'm making today. I will link as many recipes as I can below. Some of these aren't just for Thanksgiving. You can make them other times as well, but they're some of my standbys. So the first thing I did, and I've already done it because I was kind of in a rush this morning, was make a pâte brisée pie crust, just a pie crust. Because normally I only make pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving. But I had a special request this year for, in addition to pumpkin pie, a Dutch apple pie. So I have the pie crust chilling, and I have, all the ingredients here to make a Dutch apple pie, which I haven't done before, but I have made regular apple pies before, so I don't think it's gonna be that hard. And then I also need to make 2 pumpkin pies. And I have already roasted all of my sweet potatoes, so I'll be peeling those, mashing them up, and adding in all of the seasonings that I use, because then I put that in the refrigerator. It's ready to go. All we need to do tomorrow is heat it up. The pies will be done. And then the last thing I'm gonna make is fresh cranberry sauce. And so I do that the day before as well, because I like it to set up so that it's like a gel, more jellied. Tomorrow I will be making my grandmother's corn pudding recipe, and I'm gonna try to film it for you guys. If not, because it's gonna be chaos, we're gonna have a lot of people here and in the kitchen and stuff, so I may not be able to film it. I was gonna try to do it today, but it doesn't really sit well in the refrigerator overnight to then be baked the next day. I like to mix it up, bake it right away. So at the very least, I will write up the recipe for her corn pudding and put it in a blog post, and then give you a link in the description box below to that blog post, so that if you would like to make it before Thanksgiving, you can. It is a sweet corn pudding, not a savory one. And like I said, it's a favorite. It's like my memories of Thanksgiving as a child. Corn pudding is like right up there. Everything else is sort of forgettable, but I love this recipe. So I'm gonna get started on, I think I was gonna start working on the sweet potatoes, but they just came out of the oven, so they're probably like 400 degrees, a little too hot to peel. So I think what we'll do is we'll start working on the pumpkin pies, because then I can get those in the oven while the pie dough for the Dutch apple pie chills. And then by that time, all of the pumpkin pies will come out and the apple pie can go in. So let's get going. you may be wondering why I only filled these pie shells halfway. Well, that recipe, it's a great Martha Stewart recipe. It's a maple pumpkin pie. Very simple, very few ingredients, but that recipe says it's for one pie, but always is way more than one pie. So I find that by having 2 pie shells and filling them both halfway, then when it rises, it doesn't overflow, and then I actually get 2 pies out of it. So just something that I do. So a Dutch apple pie has very thinly sliced apple because it all needs to bake evenly. And it does not have a top crust, it has a crumble. So that is why I sliced the apples super thin. And the pie crust, the bottom crust, is par baking right now. Then I will take it out, fill it, and put the crumble on top, and then bake the pie. I'm also going to be filling a bunch of ramekins with extra apples, because there's a lot in here, probably more than I need for the pie shell, because I am a gluten-free person, and so I will have my version of apple pie to be able to eat while everybody else is eating the Dutch apple pie. Pumpkin pies are out. They're cooling. After I get this apple pie in the oven, it's moving on to the sweet potatoes. Well, that's it for me for today. That was a lot of standing on my feet. I'm tired. So, reviewing what we did today. I roasted all my sweet potatoes. I mixed them up with, mushed them up and mixed them up with all the seasonings that I use. And I'll put that in the blog post with the link in the description box. And they're in the refrigerator to wait until tomorrow, when I will, of course, top them with marshmallows, because that's what we do in America, and bake them in the oven to just reheat them and melt the marshmallow. And I made 2 pumpkin pies. Those are a Martha Stewart recipe, maple pumpkin pies. I'll put that link in the description box as well. And I made a Dutch apple pie with Martha Stewart's pâte brisée pastry crust or pie dough. So the pie itself, the Dutch apple pie itself, was actually a pie from Gluten Free on a Shoestring. So I'll link that below as well, but I did use a regular crust for that. And then I had filling in the ramekins for myself so that I could have apple pie as well. And we also, what else did we do? Cranberries. That's the last thing we made, cranberry sauce. So that is a actually new to me recipe. I always make cranberries from whole fresh cranberries, but in the past I've always used white sugar and orange juice and then just dump in spices. And this time I used brown sugar instead with cardamom, because I love cardamom. And so we'll see how it comes out. I mean, it definitely tastes, because I tasted it, it's hot, 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 but I think it's gonna gel up really nicely. But it definitely tastes more tart, so it's less sugar, which in a way is kind of nice, that it wouldn't be so sweet, but you can taste the cardamom, and I love that. So that's gonna be it for me. I have a couple more things to make tomorrow. I will put the link to my grandmother's corn pudding recipe in the show notes below, and you can go to my blog and read that. And if I get a chance to film it tomorrow, I will, but you won't be seeing that video until after Thanksgiving. So I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the US and you celebrate. And if you don't, have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you have a good time in your garden, around your table. Find lots of things to be thankful for. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.